Welcome everybody. All right. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a sniper rifle. Now, if you are a person who likes games, this will be very cool for you. I do get a ton of requests to do a lot of game object modeling, and I get a ton of requests to do, for example, first-person shooter weapons and stuff like that, third-person shooter weapons, and they're actually quite a bit of fun to model. If you don't like this kind of stuff, you can go simply move on to the next tutorial. But for the most part, there will be a lot of cool things that you will learn in this. Okay, so let's start up a new file. We'll simply go ahead and push delete. Well, let's go ahead and let's create a cylinder. Let's rotate this, and let's rotate this 90 degrees on the x-axis. Okay, and that will put it to the side right there. Okay, go ahead and push enter, and you can go and push 1, 2, 3 on the numpad, and you can see that we have this nice little thing here. Now what this will do is this will be the barrel. Okay, and of course this is actually quite big, so I'm going to scale this down quite a bit here. Just going to scale it down and move it over here, and you can see that we're in 3. Let's move this aside here, tab into edit mode, and we'll go ahead and push face select here. Now we'll go and simply move this out here, and this will be for the most part the barrel of the gun here. Now most of the time the sniper rifle has something else at the end of it. And just to clarify, I'm actually going to make this a science fiction sniper rifle just because science fiction is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and push E to extrude, and then I'm going to lock this to the y-axis. And I'm just going to make a simple one like that. Now usually you need something simple like that. Let's go E to extrude, lock it to the y-axis by pushing Y, and I'll just make another one here. I'll scale this up just a bit, something more like that, and I'm going to push another one here. In fact, I'm actually going to scale this up a little bit more. There we go. So now that we have like kind of we now have kind of the funnel to the gun, and we can actually go ahead and we can change this up quite a bit later on here. So we can make this bigger, but that might be a bit too big. Something more like that. I think that's pretty good. And from here, we can actually, if we really wanted to, we can kind of move this here like this, and we'll just actually push E to extrude, lock it to the y-axis, E to extrude again, and actually scale it just a bit, and then E to extrude. Alright, so you can see here that just by adding a couple of scales and extrudes, the detail of this actually looks pretty cool. Okay, so far at least. Now we can actually go and move this in one more. If you really wanted to, you can go E to extrude, lock it to the y-axis, of course, and then E to extrude, scale it again, and then push E to extrude, and so this will kind of go into the barrel of the gun there. So now that we have that, it actually looks pretty cool. At least I think. Now, if you really want to, you can go and right now we're inside, but of course this is like that here. Now, there's several ways we can do this here. Now, one of the things when it comes to game development, because it's an interactive environment, you always want to be conscious of how many faces you use. This is already getting to be a little bit too much. Unless you're making something for like the new consoles like Xbox One, PlayStation 4, etc., and even the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 can handle something like this, but a mobile device might not be able to handle this. This might be way too much just for that. So you got to keep that in mind for what platform you're developing for. Okay, so we have this here. It looks kind of cool. I'm going to tab back into object mode, and you can see here that this actually looks kind of cool. Now let's go and let's create a box here. And what we'll do is we'll push 7, and we'll create not a plane, but a cube. Okay, and so we have this nice little cube. Let's scale that down here. Now this may seem small, but at the same time, remember that if you have a character within a game, if you have a character within a game, it will be smaller than you think. Okay, so now we have a cube here, and the reason why I'm putting this into different objects is because you have several different options to actually make this to texture this. You can give it different materials, which is what I'm going to do because it's a little easier, or you can UV unwrap it and put a texture on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's tab into edit mode, and let's just simply make this look a little bit cooler than it is. Okay, so we're just going to kind of just test this out here, make it something more like this, and we'll just kind of make make it something like that here. And you'll notice that here the pipe kind of comes out a bit. You definitely don't want that. Okay, and from here we're going to go and we're going to actually go and extrude a whole bunch of stuff here. So first things first, let's select this face. Let's push extrude and lock it to the y-axis. And by locking it to the y-axis, we're going to go and simply do that here. And it will make sure when you lock it to the y-axis, it'll just make it look a little bit better. And we'll actually, if you push control, by the way, it will lock it to the grid. But this grid is actually set up really quick. It's actually set up for the most part to be quite big. So I'm just going to try and eyeball this here and make it straight. And that looks pretty straight. Let's go and let's pop back into face select, and we'll just simply move it out like that here. So now we have kind of we now have kind of that right there. Okay, this tutorial is getting a little bit long, and I'll like to save this and everything, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.